She cried over a guy who ghosted her for 3 weeks, then blocked you for texting back too fast. You think that's an accident? No, that's psychology. This isn't a dating video. This is a psychology lesson they don't teach in school. And if this doesn't piss you off, you're not paying attention. Now, listen to me. I've talked to, dated, and interviewed enough women to know the truth. And here it is. Most women, even the smartest and most self-aware, have gone back to men who treated them like absolute garbage. Out of 100 women I spoke to, 89 admitted they've done it. Not once when they were young and dumb. No, multiple times. You want to know why? It's not because they like pain. And it's not because they're stupid. It's because the male brain and the female brain do not react to attention in the same way. See, men crave consistency and affection. We want that good morning text every day because it's reassuring. To us, it's security. But to her, that same predictable good morning text feels like eating plain oatmeal every day for breakfast. It doesn't excite her. The female brain is wired for dopamine spikes from novelty and unpredictability. It's the same high that makes people addicted to slot machines. When you text her at random times, when you go silent for a bit, when you keep her guessing, her brain lights up. Unpredictable attention is chemically addictive. And then there's the solve him fantasy. This is a dangerous one. A guy who is a complete open book, easy to read. She loses interest fast. But the guy who's a little bit inconsistent, a little mysterious, who gives just enough to make her curious, but never enough to feel like she has the full picture, that's the guy who gets stuck in her head at 2 a.m. I had a friend, Sarah, who dated a guy for 8 months just to figure him out. He never even took her on an official date, but he had this chaotic, elusive energy that made her obsessed with trying to understand him. That's not love. That's a puzzle. And women will work harder to solve a puzzle than to maintain something easy. Then we've got the safety-danger paradox. She will tell her friends, her mom, even herself that she just wants a good, safe, dependable guy. She'll mean it when she says it, but when it comes to actual attraction, her body responds to tension, unpredictability, and yes, a little chaos. It's biology. Stable feels safe, but it also feels predictable. A lot of guys go all in on stability, thinking they're doing the right thing. They plan the same date every Friday, text at the same time every night, keep the same tone and routine. But what happens? She starts to feel restless. She needs something to disrupt the comfort. That doesn't mean she wants to be in danger. It means she craves variety, suspense, and the little adrenaline rush that comes from not always knowing what's next. Nice guys get eaten alive because they mistake stability for attraction. They think that answering every text instantly is romantic. No, it's suffocating. The instant reply trap is the quickest way to become predictable. I once waited 4 hours to reply to a girl's message. Not on purpose, just because I was busy. She sent me 2 photos in that gap, one of them not safe for work. If I had answered her right away, probably just a lull back. The delay created space for her to wonder, to think, to lean forward instead of leaning back. Same thing with compliments. Guys shower women with praise too early, thinking it'll make them stand out. It doesn't. Women are drowning in compliments. Attractive women get told they're beautiful so often the words mean almost nothing. When a compliment is too easy to get, it has no value. If you tell her she's gorgeous in the first 5 minutes, she might smile. But in her head, she's already filing you under every other guy. The key is to make your validation rare, deliberate, and tied to moments that actually mean something. That way, when you do say it, it lands. And predictability, the silent killer. If she can tell you exactly what the next date, the next text, the next conversation will be like, she'll start mentally checking out. I've seen women bring their roommates along to dates because they knew nothing exciting was going to happen. That's when you've lost. You want her to feel safe, but you also want her to feel like she needs to pay attention because something interesting might happen at any time. So, how do you flip the script? You don't become a jerk just for the sake of it, but you do start using space, mystery, and controlled unpredictability to your advantage. Once a month, in the middle of a conversation, vanish. Don't explain. Don't apologize. Come back the next day like nothing happened. That single gap will live rent-free in her mind way longer than any paragraph you could have sent. Or once in a while, cancel plans at the last minute. Not rudely, not with some dramatic excuse, just a simple something came up. I'll see you soon. That little withdrawal makes her realize your time isn't guaranteed. And that realization builds value. Plant seeds of curiosity. Drop one vague but intriguing detail about your life now and then. Not a made-up story. That's lying, but something true that hints at more under the surface. Say you can't talk because you're dealing with some wild situation from Miami, and then don't elaborate. Let her imagination run. I once did this with a woman I met on Tinder, and she ended up flying across the country just to see what my deal was. That's the power of curiosity. Now, here's the thing. Women will tell you they hate men who play with their feelings. And they believe that. But what they really hate is men who play with their feelings and aren't worth it. If the guy is dull, broke, insecure, or just not her type, emotional games feel manipulative and cruel. But when the guy is exciting, confident, and in control of himself, that same unpredictability feels magnetic. That's why she can forgive the bad boy who disappears for a week, but block the nice guy who double texts. This isn't about becoming toxic or manipulative. It's about understanding the way attraction actually works, not the way we wish it worked. The truth is, women don't get addicted to kindness. They get addicted to the emotional roller coaster, the highs and lows, the tension and release, the uncertainty of not knowing exactly where they stand. That's what keeps their mind coming back, even when logic says to walk away. I had a girl once tell me she'd rather cry over a guy who made her feel intense passion than be with a guy who made her feel safe, but bored. And before you judge that, think about your own life. People binge shows that stress them out. They play video games that frustrate them. They ride roller coasters that scare them. Comfort doesn't stick in the memory. Emotional intensity does. So if you're the guy who's always available, always agreeable, always predictable, you're not giving her the intensity her brain craves. You're giving her comfort. And comfort is what she'll choose when she's ready to settle down. Maybe someday. But for now, she's chasing the guy who makes her feel alive. Stop thinking flowers will get you laid. They won't. Stop thinking long, heartfelt texts will make her fall for you. They won't. What will? Being the guy she can't fully figure out. The guy whose presence feels like a privilege, not a given. The guy she has to work a little for. That doesn't mean you're cold. It means you value yourself enough not to give everything away for free. Be the drug, not the therapist. Therapists listen, nod, and give comfort. Drugs make people obsessed, make them crave, make them break their own rules just to get another taste. That's the level of pull you want to have. And you don't get that by being perfect. You get it by being human with edges, with mystery, with enough unpredictability to keep her on her toes.